Olive.
He shoves.
Awesome. We fold. Oh.
He calls. Pocket sixes for JC Alvarado as we return to the main feature table.
Well, JC's on a bit of a heater.
He raises, makes it 45,000.
Speaking of heaters, this is the one guy at the table running hotter than JC. This kid makes more hands than a mannequin factory.
Dan Smith has king jack off, calls from the cutoff.
Speaking of, have you ever seen Mannequin 2 on the move? It's really underrated.
You may be the only person on the planet who's seen that movie. Tobias Reinkemeyer has jack 9 suited in the big blind.
It's a decent hand, and he's getting ridiculous pot odds,
He calls as well.
even though we know he's dominated by Dan.
Three-way to the flop. And Tobias Reinkemeyer flops a full house. Dan Smith flops trips. Nothing for Alvarado, the original raiser. Action's been checked to Smith. He bets 85K.
Dan Smith has made another huge hand. This time it's not the biggest, though.
Reinkemeyer calls.
After betting a call, not much shot JC sticks around here.
He folds. Heads up to the turn. Which is a 6. JC's so lucky he folded on the flop. Reinkemeyer checks again. Smith bets again. 181,000.
Sick cooler developing here.
Reinkemeyer calls.
Both players are playing this like they absolutely know they have the best hand, and most of the time they'd both be right. As for right now, Dan is in deep doo-doo.
The river's a king. Smith now has a better full house.
OMG, this kid spikes more than a lie detector on Capitol Hill.
Reinkemeyer checks, hoping to induce some kind of bluff from Smith. This is not a bluff. This is a value bet. 384,000, and it's bound to get paid off. It may even get raised.
This is a slam dunk value raise situation. There are only two hands on the planet that are beating you, kings and king jack. King jack is the more believable of the two if it weren't for the fact that it would have to be the case jack.
Hold on.
Reinkemeyer shoves.
The double check,
Call.
Dan Smith calls, and we lose the German from the tournament.
like the refrigerators at the Center for Disease Control, this is just a sick cooler.
Good hand.
No kidding.
Tobias, it's okay if you want to scream.
All right, good luck.
Theo Jorgensen has raised to 2,000 with ace-king. Alex Pavlovskis has called from the hijack with sixes. Action on Rune Nikolaisen on the button. Queen 10 suited.
How do you not call it this? It's juicier than a velour sweatsuit.
He calls. Vladimir Trinovsky has jack-queen in the small blind. He calls. Martin Schleich with ace-deuce in the big blind.
Not juicy, dominated, out of position, but he's getting better than 8-1.
He calls as well. Seriously? 5 players to the flop? Which is queen 6.
Oh my God. Bring out the stretcher.
Check to the razor.
Somebody is going home in a body bag.
Theo Jorgensen does not continue with less than 1% equity.
He's built an amazing pot for someone.
Nikolaisen thinks it's him. But right now, it's Pavlovskis with the full house, and he bets 6,500. Nikolaisen with trip queens will call. Troinovsky also with trip queens.
With his stack, I think we're fairly likely to see a shove here. This is going to be a shame.
13.
I think he needs 15,000.
He only has 13,000. He is all in. Schleich and Jorgensen fold.
Pavlovskis is folding less often here than a guy who always wears wrinkled clothes. I don't know, he's never folding.
All in.
He reshoves. What does Nikolaisen do now?
I think he should sometimes be able to find a fold here, but no.
He calls, so Trinovsky and Nikolaisen both at risk and both way behind. A 10 on the turn sees Nikolaisen improve to a better full house.
That is just horrific.
And a jack on the river sees Troinovsky win the pot.
What is happening here? The dealer just went over to Pavlovsky's house, let himself in the front door, went to the kitchen, and ate his lunch.
Okay, Joseph, how do you feel about playing a hand against Phil Ivey?
Not gonna lie, don't really want to do it. However, if we have to, can we at least play along with one of the smartest people I've ever met?
She has a boyfriend, Joe.
Call.
Jennifer calling with ace queen suited. Everyone else folds to Phil Ivey's raise. So let's go in the tank with Jennifer and go to the flop. Ace 8-8.
Awesome, we just beat Phil Ivey. Brick, brick, ship it.
No continuation bet from Phil.
Which means we should probably start betting this for value.
There's a bet.
Fine, Phil, call. See if I care.
To the turn. A 7. Phil checks again.
I say we bet this again.
No, Jennifer checks behind. We're going to the river. The cage is in play. It's a 9.
Jen is smarter than me and probably realized we couldn't get 3 streets of value, meaning if we bet 3 streets and Phil comes along for the ride the whole time, it might be him taking us for the ride and not the other way around.
Jen betting the river. And she is playing the value card.
Most certainly a bet for value. And we definitely want to get called. There we go.
Hold up there.
Son of a...
Phil has just check raised. And we don't know if this is a raise for value or if this is a bluff.
This is a pretty sick spot. I'm not even in this spot for real and I feel sick. Could be the leftover Chinese food. Regardless, we're gonna need some time.
Call.
Jen calls.
Come on.
Phil tables pocket aces.
Pretty sure it's value.
Yeah.
Gross. Oh, God, I'm gonna be sick.
Nice hand.
Flop to full house.
That's orange chicken. That's orange chicken on the ground right here.
Gomez with aces.
Alex and Benny are going to go heads up to this.
850,000 out there. Oh my goodness. Quads on the flop. Don't ever run bad.
Strange. Last time Gomez had aces was against Kevin Saul, and 3 6s came on board. He won a big pot. This time, 3 of a kind is going to come on board, and he's destined to lose a lot of chips right here. And now the question is, how is Spindler going to play it?
He
Well,
is raising,
interesting.
wasting no time.
You know, this is an interesting play here from Spindler. He's got 4 of a kind, and, you know, popular wisdom would say you should just call and slow play it. But what he's hoping for here is that his raise looks like a bluff, and that Gomez does have a hand like aces, kings, or something along those lines, and is going to, you know, play for it all. Well, he's just going to call. Now, you know, the funny thing about this is Gomez actually thinks that he's trapping him.
Right, he thinks he's slow playing his hand.
He's trying to trap him as he thought and as he did against Kevin Saul earlier in this tournament. Now Benny Spindler asking for a chip count.
1,350,000 apiece.
6.
Let's see the turn card.
Now,
Like
Benny
it, man.
can't really care how
Turn
much
cards of
Gomez
5
has
of
here.
It's just trying to, like,
Jack,
show
Jack,
weakness,
5
if you
with 2
will. It's a little
spades
bit of
on
a
board. Alex
sort of
is
Hollywood
first.
move. Gomez is
He checks.
checking.
And that's poker on a higher level, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now Gomez is really checking in the hopes that Spindler, you know, is going to bluff at it. As we know, he's not bluffing. He's got 4 of a kind. And Spindler is really taking an aggressive approach to this
Then he
hand
bets
to try to
out
get as
2
many
million.
chips in as possible. A big bet once again of $2 million.
Pot up to 5.5 million now.
Well, this is the opportunity now for either Gomez to be an absolute genius and make the most remarkable laydown we may have ever seen,
Don't bet on that.
or he might just decide, all right, now's the time. Let's get all those chips in the middle. Just an amazing. Oh, and he does. He's moving it all in. Of course, Spindler. Well, he's calling. He's got 4 of a kind. Gomez says,
yeah.
ah, completely dead. River card is totally irrelevant. Spindler wins a monster pot, eliminating Gomez.
We're going to sweat with Gleb once again.
Of course we're gonna sweat with Gleb. He refuses to take down that top button. Dang.
Ensan has raised. Tremzin has ace-king.
Hussein said he doesn't like to play big pots pre-flop, which is the reason why I want to make this pot bigger now.
1,000,006.
There's the 3-bet from Tremzin.
Hussein doesn't seem that thrilled about it.
He calls with the advantage of position. The flop is 5-5-4.
Not a huge fan of this board. I think we should c-bet small and then maybe just shut it down from there.
Tremzin does not c-bet. He checks the action to Ensan, who checks behind.
Okay.
8 on the turn. And still no bet from Tremzin. Ensan, on the other hand, will bet 700k.
This bet is so small, we have to call. I think he tends to bet small when he doesn't have it. I think.
Tremzin calls with ace high. The river card is a 10.
I say let's check one more time. Hope for a free showdown.
There's the check. I don't think Ensan's checking behind. He is loading up.
Maybe he's just building a chip castle before he checks.
Oh. He's really loading up. He shoves!
Awesome. We fold. We fold.
Glep's not convinced. Could ace high be the best hand here?
I mean, it's possible. But
He calls! Ensan tables a full house!
I don't know. This dude's kind of random. I was just flipping a coin back here anyway.
He flopped it! And got the absolute maximum.